Hey guys, how's it going? I am so excited for this video. It's finally here. It's the moment I've been waiting for. Hopefully you guys are excited too. I had a lot of problems procuring this, but today, which is Sunday the 5th, it's iPhone 10 time. Yeah! So I am so excited, so very excited to have this phone and be able to talk about it. So this is kind of my initial impressions. I literally got this phone about 4 hours ago. 3 hours ago, not even 4, 3 hours ago that I got this phone. So I have some initial impressions, kind of my first thoughts, and then in about a week or so, I'm going to do a full review. Once I feel like I've had enough time with the phone, I'm going to do a full review of it, kind of talk about the things I like and I don't like. But for right now, let's go over some stuff that hopefully helps you guys out if you just got one of these or are planning on getting one here pretty soon. So first off, the design. Let's talk about the design. This is a beautiful looking phone. Hopefully you guys can see it all. I am very excited about the design of this phone because we've had the same iPhone design for 3 years, technically 4 if you count the 8, and it's a great looking phone, but I was ready for something new. I was so ready for something new, and the iPhone 10 delivers. The edge-to-edge screen is huge. It's a beautiful looking phone. But when I took it out of the Apple Store, before I even opened the box, the Apple Store person asked me if I wanted to buy a case. And I didn't really think I wanted to because I'm not really a case person. I'm normally, even with my 7, I didn't use a case. 6S didn't use a case. I used a case for a little bit with the 6. But all the phones before that, I didn't really use a case. This one, I noticed how slippery it was right away, and also the repair costs if something were to happen to this thing. So I decided I would pick up a case. So I highly recommend you guys pick up a case. You don't have to get the case I get or anything like that, but if you are getting this phone, you should put it in something, especially if you see the repair cost. So I got the Apple silicone case, this guy right here. This is the cobalt blue one. I didn't really like any of the colors. This was like the one that I kind of liked the best, but all the other colors I didn't really care for. I should mention also, if you didn't notice, I got the silver version. I got the 256 silver of the iPhone 10, and I like it a lot. I think what I like the most about it is the silver banding around the corners, or around the edges. It's very reminiscent of the original iPhone, which I love that phone. I love the design. At the time, it was gorgeous, super exciting. The next thing I want to talk about is the notch. So the notch is the sensor array right up here. And before the phone came out, when we had all the HomePod leaks and all that stuff, we had a lot of people debating on whether Apple should embrace the notch, so basically like it is now and have the 2 horns, or if they should just leave this a black bar so it hides the notch. And I actually like embracing the notch because it gives a spot for the time and all the information like cellular, Wi-Fi, things like that. You can also swipe down from here to get the notification in the control center. When you go into apps and stuff like Instapaper here, it embraces the notch up there. So, you know, there's still text up there. So it makes it feel like a full screen phone and that the notch just kind of dips in a little bit. So personally, I like the notch. A lot of people have been talking about, oh, it's going to be annoying 6 months down the road. I'm still going to notice it and I'm going to be annoyed by it. You really don't. I stopped noticing it about 5 minutes after I got my phone. I don't really look that far up. This phone is very tall, especially compared to the 6 or the 6S, 7 phones. It's very tall, so you don't really look that high up, especially when looking at content. So I personally really like it. The thing that actually surprisingly is, you know, I'm having a hard time with is the rounded corners. So the rounded corners on things, it's kind of weird, and you really notice it when you're switching between apps. You notice the rounded corners. It's kind of a first for iOS. So I think that's kind of the most interesting thing. I don't necessarily hate them. I don't necessarily like them. It's just the thing that have been jumping out to me the most since I've had this phone. So that's kind of the design aspect of the phone. I personally really love the design of this phone. So what comes in the box is pretty much the standard thing. Obviously the phone, charger, so you get the wall outlet and the lightning cable. But surprisingly, you still get one of these guys. The headphone jack. The headphone adapter and the lightning port cable thing. I was surprised you still get those. Obviously, you still get the headphones that come with it, but I was actually kind of surprised Apple threw that in. That's really nice of them. I figured it was going to be a one-time thing with the 7, and then that would be it. But I was wrong, and I'm very glad. I'm happy they throw those things in. They're $9 in the store, but you know what? When you get them for free, that's pretty nice. So the next thing I want to talk about is Face ID. Face ID is really awesome for me. I absolutely love it. I know a lot of people were freaking out about it when it was first announced with the phones at the keynote, and that people would be like, oh, your sibling's going to be able to activate it, or a picture of you, and stuff like that. And there's been plenty of people on the internet that have tried to disprove that and stuff like that. I'm not going to try that right now. But I think personally Face ID has been a heck of a lot quicker than Touch ID. I don't have to worry about if my hands are wet or a little sweaty or something like that, or if I have gloves on because I've been working on something. And I think Face ID is definitely the future. I think everybody needs to give it a chance. I think everybody freaking out about it at first is just so much overkill. It's ridiculous. I've been using it all for the last 3 hours, and I freaking love it. It's amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm not entirely sure why people are so nervous about it, especially considering, you know, they were using their thumbprint on the previous phone. So I think personally for me, I think Face ID is great. And I'm going to have more about this in my main review. Like I said, this is just kind of my first thoughts. The other thing I want to talk about is the home indicator. So how you swipe up. So the little bar at the bottom when you swipe up and get home. Honestly, it's fine. That was kind of something that I was nervous about. I didn't think I was going to like it. I didn't think that I would like it all the way down at the bottom there, and that I would try and reach for something else and I'd be hitting that. I don't have that problem at all. I don't hit something else on accident. It's great. It's there when I need it, and it disappears when I don't. So overall, I like the home indicator. The other things that I know people want to know about are the camera and the battery life. And like I said, I've only had the phone for about 3 hours now, so I don't have enough time with it to talk about it. So far, I've done a restore from backup, and the battery life has been a champ. So, and that normally just absolutely destroys your battery when you restore from backup. So that's been pretty good. I've taken some photos, but nothing. It's very overcasty and very dark here today, so it's nothing that are optimal conditions. So I don't think the photos will look as good as they will in a sunny day. So hopefully I'll have a sunny day coming up, and I'll go out and I'll take some nice photos. The other thing I want to talk about are apps. Third-party apps are going to have to be updated. The way they look right now on the 10 without being updated is comical. It actually is very similar, if you guys remember, from the 4 to the 5 era, when the 5 was just basically a taller 4, and it would, if the apps didn't update, it would just have black bars. It would letterbox the top and the bottom. It just looks terrible, and I have a feeling there's going to be certain apps, Google, that are going to take a very long time to update, and I'm not looking forward to that. Most of the apps that I use every day, a lot of the third-party ones, they're just fine, but it's apps from bigger companies like Google. Yeah, they're still letterboxed, and they don't look good at all. There's also apps like Workflow. The Workflow has been acquired by Apple, so I don't know if it'll get updated to support iPhone 10. I really hope it does, but not holding my breath on that one, so we'll see. So that's kind of those are my first thoughts, and this is kind of what I was thinking right when the device, like I said, I've been using it for 3 hours, so I don't have a whole lot to go off of right now, but so far I absolutely love it. I think it's a great device. Like I said, you'll definitely want to get a case. You don't have to get the Apple case if you don't want, but it was there in the store, so I did not want to walk out without it. I absolutely love it, so this will be an amazing device to use. I'm very excited to use it as my primary device. So I should have a review up next weekend, or if I feel like I need more time, I'm gonna do it 2 weeks from now. If you have any questions about the phone, leave it in the comments below, and I will try and answer as much as I can. Thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day.